Dustin Blake Radke appears in person, appearing especially with counsel Rosa O'Donnell.
Nicholas Owen Grunke appears in person with counsel Suzanne Edwards.
Alexander Caleb Grunke appears in person and specially by counsel attorney Susan Jones.
Would you give us your name, please?
Brent McDonald.
Did you find out his name?
Yes.
What was his name?
Yeah, he identified himself with a driver's license as Alexander Grunke. Alexander Grunke. The van, and I could see that there was a large, probably like a 3-foot crowbar, like a wrecking bar, and like a large gray plastic tarp, paper towel type thing, hand sanitizer things, and then there was a box of condoms on the floor.
What was the next part of the conversation?
Well, the next part of the conversation went with, I guess I asked him what was going on and what they'd be digging for up there, and then he never replied. He just kind of hung his head, and then I don't know where it come out of, but I just kind of put together that I commented that the Tennyson girl was just recently buried up there earlier in the week, and I asked if that would have had anything to do with it. He stated that it would have.
Would you give us your name, please?
James Kopp.
What happened when you got to the cemetery?
When we drove in, the other 2 cars went to the left, I went to the right, and I came across an open grave.
Did you look at it?
Yes.
What did you see?
There was a hole 3.5 feet wide by 3 feet long and 1 foot 8 inches deep, which uncovered the top half of the vault.
So in reference to the condoms, Mr. Radke stated Nick wanted them, but he didn't want to go in and buy them. And you said, okay, so when he had sex with the corpse, he'd have a condom on. Do you recall those words?
Yes.
So you're going to take her out of the casket? Yes. Okay. Were you going to put her in anything? Maybe the tarp, so we could lift her. Did he know Laura? Answer by Dustin Radke, no. He just saw her obituary in the paper. Answer by Dustin Radke. He was going to take it to his house in Ridgeway and then take it into the woods somewhere by his house. Question, okay, did he have a place picked out? Yeah. He had a place picked out. It was by some old abandoned junkyard. Next page, 360. Question by Jim Kopp. He just read her obit, and you said he had been like this for a while, been having problems or fantasies. Yeah, he's been that way since as long as I can remember. He used to go to Madison every Friday, as he had counseling for problems since 5th grade, all the way up, kicked out of school. A bunch of times for threatening to blow up the school and kill teachers. It's been like that for a while.
Any Oliveto?
Your Honor, we would object to bind over. There has not been established any elements here for the crime of attempted sexual assault. As stated by the detective in speaking with Mr. Radke, he said, so the condoms were for purposes of having sex with the corpse. There is no statute and there is no felony charge, and so therefore the court cannot bind this matter over on this charge of attempted sexual third-degree assault.
The district attorney frequently referred to her, she, Laura Tennyson. There is no her or she anymore. There's human remains in that grave. It's clearly human remains. There's no statute that on the books now that prohibits sexual contact or sexual intercourse with human remains.
Thank you. Attorney Malini?
The natural person, the victim, was in a far better place. It was human remains in that grave. And although states like Iowa, our neighbor to the west, have statutes against necrophilia, having sexual contact or committing a sexual act with a corpse, Wisconsin does not. Wisconsin, apparently, from what I've heard in the news, does intend to enact a statute making necrophilia contact criminal. At this time, Wisconsin does not have such a statute, and accordingly, we object to binding authority.
The legislature, when they want to draft a statute, draft it precisely. And in this case, they used the word victim. Therefore, they imply that the person is a victim before you have to make the determination of whether or not they're dead or alive. And the word victim applies, as was stated by Attorney Edwards, to a natural person. Therefore, the court agrees with counsel for the defendants that there's no law in the state of Wisconsin for necrophilia, unlike our adjacent state, Iowa, and thus will not bind over on that charge. But the evidence here does show that there are two felonies that the evidence shows, to a reasonable inference, were probably committed, and one was an attempt to damage personal property belonging to the Tennyson family and also to the cemetery property. So for those reasons, I'll bind over on those two felonies. The arraignment will be October 9th at 11. Let's make it October 9th at 1 o'clock. Thank you.